in a little house at the top of a sleepy hill, there lived a young boy named Orion. More than anything in the world, Orion loved the night sky. While other children were tucked in their beds, he would be in the attic, his favorite room in the house, which was filled with dusty boxes and forgotten treasures. His favorite spot was right by the big, round window that looked out over the sleeping town and up into the endless, starry expanse. He knew all the constellations by heart. He knew the Great Bear and the Little Dipper, the soaring eagle and the swimming swan. He thought of the stars as his friends, and the moon as the kind, gentle mother of the night. Every night he would talk to them, telling them about his day, his dreams, and his secrets. He felt that they listened, their steady, silent light a comforting presence in the quiet of his room. The attic was his private observatory, a magical space where the universe felt close enough to touch. He wished, more than anything, that he could do more than just watch. He wished he could add to its beauty, to hang a new star in a dark spot, or to trace a new, happy picture for the moon to look at. One evening, while looking for a warm blanket in an old, forgotten sea chest that had belonged to his great-grandfather, Orion's fingers brushed against something hard and wooden. It was tucked away right at the very bottom, wrapped in a piece of old, star-charted velvet. Curious, he lifted it out. It was a long, thin wooden box, dark with age and smelling of cedar and something else. Something that smelled like distant, cold starlight. The box had no lock, only a small, silver latch, in the shape of a crescent moon. With a feeling of wonderful, shivery excitement, Orion gently lifted the latch. The box opened with a soft, quiet click. Inside, nestled on a bed of faded, dark blue silk, lay a single, beautiful paintbrush. The handle was made of a smooth, dark wood worn down by years of use, but the bristles were unlike anything he had ever seen. They weren't made of hair or fiber. They were made of pure, shimmering, and softly glowing starlight, a swirling bundle of tiny, multicolored lights that seemed to be alive, dancing and shifting with a gentle, silent energy. As Orion picked it up, the handle felt warm in his hand, and the bristles pulsed with a soft, magical light, casting a rainbow of colors on his face. He didn't know how he knew, but he was certain. This was no ordinary paintbrush. Orion felt an irresistible urge. He stood up and went to his large, round window, the magical paintbrush held carefully in his hand. The night sky outside was a deep, velvety black, dotted with its familiar, friendly stars. He took a deep breath, his heart thumping with a mixture of nervousness and excitement. What would happen? He unlatched the window and pushed it open, letting the cool, clean night air fill the attic. Then, reaching out as far as he could, he touched the tip of the glowing bristles to the empty canvas of the night sky, right next to the Little Dipper. The moment the brush touched the darkness, a shower of soft, beautiful sparks cascaded downwards. He pulled the brush back, and there, where there had been nothing before, was a single, new star. It was a perfect, five-pointed star that twinkled with a gentle, silvery white light, as bright and as beautiful as any of its neighbors. Orion gasped, his eyes wide with disbelief. He had done it. He had hung a new star in the sky. Overjoyed, he did it again, making a small, graceful arc. A trail of tiny, shimmering stars followed the path of his brush, creating a beautiful, sparkling curve. This was the magic he had always dreamed of. He was no longer just an observer of the night sky, he was an artist, and the universe itself was his canvas. For several nights, Orion's heart was filled with a secret, happy joy. As soon as the sun set, he would rush to the attic and spend hours painting new, beautiful things in the sky. He added extra sparkles to the Milky Way, gave the comets longer, more glittery tails, and added little crowns of stars to his favorite constellations. The sky had never looked so vibrant, but one night he noticed something was wrong. The moon, his kind and gentle friend, was looking very sad. Her usual bright, creamy white glow had faded to a dim, watery, silvery blue. The gentle, smiling face she usually wore was gone, replaced by a soft, downturned curve, and her light seemed weak and tired. As her sad light fell upon the world, the entire forest seemed to grow a little darker, a little less magical. The other stars seemed to dim their own lights a little, as if out of respect for her sorrow. Orion felt a deep pang of sympathy for her. He had been so busy adding his own decorations to the sky that he hadn't noticed that its heart was sad. He stopped his playful painting, the glowing brush feeling heavy in his hand. What could make the moon so sad? And more importantly, what could a small boy with a magical paintbrush do to help her smile again? Orion sat by his window for a long time, just watching the sad, blue moon. He knew he couldn't just paint a smile on her face. That wouldn't make her feel truly happy. He had to give her a reason to smile. He thought about what made him happy. When he was sad, sometimes it was a warm hug, but he couldn't hug the moon. Sometimes it was a funny story, and that gave him an idea. The old constellations, like the Great Bear and the Swan, were beautiful, but they were very old. The moon had been looking at the same pictures for thousands and thousands of years. Perhaps she wasn't sad. Perhaps she was just a little bit lonely and bored. Perhaps what she needed was a new story, a new picture to look at in the sky. A new friend, a warmth of purpose filled him. He would not just paint random sparkles tonight. He would paint the moon a new friend, a new constellation, something brave and kind to keep her company in the long, dark night. He picked up his star paintbrush, its bristles glowing softly in the dim, blue light, and he thought very hard about what kind of friend the moon would like the most. It would have to be something strong, but also gentle, something noble and full of silent courage. Orion had his idea. He would paint a great, kind lion. He opened the window, dipped his brush into the darkness as if it were a pot of ink, and began to paint. He started with a single, bright star for the lion's eye. Then, with a series of bold, sweeping strokes, he painted the outline of the lion's noble face and its great, flowing mane. With each stroke of his brush, a new trail of perfectly placed stars appeared, twinkling into life. He worked with intense focus, pouring all his thoughts of courage and kindness into his creation. He gave the lion a strong, proud chest and a long, graceful tail with a fluffy tuft of stars at the end. He didn't make it look fierce or angry. He made it look calm, wise, and protective. It was a guardian, a silent, glittering friend to watch over the moon. As he finished the final star on the lion's paw, the new constellation was complete. It glowed with a warm, golden light, a stark and beautiful contrast to the sad, blue light of the moon. It was a magnificent creature of light, a testament to bravery, and it now stood proudly in the sky, its starry eyes fixed on the moon, as if to say, "You are not alone." Orion held his breath, watching the moon from his attic window. For a long, silent moment, nothing changed. The moon's light remained a dim, sorrowful blue. A flicker of doubt entered Orion's heart. Had his idea failed? Was his painting not good enough? But then he saw it. The faint, downturned curve of the moon's lips seemed to soften just a little. A tiny, almost imperceptible glimmer of a warmer, creamier light flickered at her edge. It was as if she had noticed the brave, golden lion standing guard beside her and was surprised by the gesture. It wasn't a full smile yet, but it was a start. It was a hint of happiness returning. Encouraged, Orion felt a new wave of inspiration. If one new friend could bring a glimmer of a smile, perhaps more friends could bring a full one. He thought about what else the moon might like to see. The sky was full of creatures that could fly, like the eagle and the swan. But what about the creatures from the deep blue sea? The moon, from her high perch, could only ever see the surface of the ocean. She could never see the graceful, happy creatures that danced in the depths below. He knew just what to paint next. With renewed purpose, Orion dipped his star paintbrush into the night once more. This time, he thought of kindness, playfulness, and the gentle, swooping grace of the sea. With a series of long, curving strokes, he began to paint a dolphin. He gave it a cheerful, upturned mouth and a bright, twinkling star for its friendly eye. He painted its body in a graceful arc, as if it were leaping joyfully through the cosmic waves. He used smaller, softer stars for this constellation, giving it a gentle, silvery light that looked like sea spray shimmering in the moonlight. The dolphin was not as big or as bold as the lion, but it was full of a happy, playful energy. He painted it so that it looked like it was leaping towards the moon, as if coming up from the deep to say a cheerful hello. As he added the final star to the tip of its tail, the dolphin constellation shimmered into life, a beautiful, silvery curve of pure joy. It stood out against the dark canvas of the sky, a perfect companion to the brave, golden lion. One was a guardian of courage, and the other was a messenger of happiness. Orion looked between his two new creations, his heart swelling with a quiet, artistic pride. He had brought a piece of the ocean to the sky. Orion turned his gaze back to the moon, his heart filled with hope. Her reaction was clearer this time. The glimmer of a smile on her face had grown, becoming a soft, gentle, and definite curve. The dim, watery blue of her light was receding, replaced by more and more of her warm, creamy white glow. She looked like a flower slowly blooming in the night. She was still not shining at her full brightness, but her sadness was clearly melting away, soothed by the presence of her two new, beautiful friends. Orion could feel her gratitude. It was a feeling that washed over the entire sky, a soft, silvery warmth that made all the other stars seem to twinkle just a little bit brighter. He felt an incredible wave of happiness wash over him. This was the most wonderful feeling in the world, to create something beautiful, not just for himself, but for someone else. To use his magic to bring happiness to another. He realized that this was the true purpose of the magical paintbrush. It wasn't just for making the sky look prettier. It was for sharing joy, for painting comfort and friendship into the darkest corners of the night. He looked at the moon's growing smile and knew he couldn't stop now. He had one more friend to create for her, one final gift to complete the story. For his final creation, Orion wanted to make something truly special, a symbol of hope and new beginnings. He thought of the sunrise he had just helped to create in his courage cookie, and he knew what he had to paint. He would paint a phoenix, the mythical bird of fire and rebirth. He dipped his brush into the night and began to paint with a flourish, his movements full of newfound confidence. He created a magnificent bird with a proud head and a long, elegant neck. For its wings, he made great, sweeping arcs, as if the bird was soaring high above the heavens. For its long, flowing tail, he used thousands of tiny, shimmering star motes, making it look like a cascading waterfall of pure light. He didn't use just one color for this constellation. He made the stars of the Phoenix a beautiful, shifting tapestry of sunrise, colors deep, rose pink, vibrant orange, and the purest, most brilliant gold. When he was finished, the Phoenix blazed in the sky, a breathtaking spectacle of color and light. It looked as if a piece of the most beautiful dawn had been permanently woven into the fabric of the night. He placed it so it was flying just below the moon, a constant, beautiful reminder that even after the longest, darkest night, the sun and hope will always rise again. This final, beautiful gift was all it took. As the last sparkling feather of the Phoenix's tail settled into place, the moon let out a great, silent, happy sigh. Her light erupted, not in a harsh flash, but in a glorious, full, and radiant wave of the warmest, creamiest, most beautiful white light. The last vestiges of the sad silvery blue vanished completely. Her smile was now wide and bright, a perfect, happy crescent that beamed down upon the world. Her light was so bright and so full of joy that it illuminated the entire attic where Orion stood, making it as bright as day. It poured down onto the sleeping town, covering it in a blanket of pure, peaceful moonlight. It made the rivers sparkle like liquid diamonds and the forests glow with a soft, ethereal light. The entire world looked more beautiful, more magical, and more peaceful, all because its gentle guardian in the sky was happy again. Orion felt the moon's joy wash over him, a feeling of pure, loving gratitude that was warmer than any blanket. He had done it. He had cheered up his oldest and dearest friend. He hadn't used words, but he had spoken to her in the language of art and friendship, a language that everyone, even the moon, could understand. Orion put down his brush and simply watched the beautiful new sky he had helped to create. The night was no longer just a collection of old, distant stars. It was a gallery, a storybook, a gathering of friends. The brave, golden lion stood as a silent protector. The playful, silvery dolphin leaped with endless joy, and the magnificent, colorful phoenix soared as a constant promise of hope. They were a family for the lonely moon, a court of gentle and noble companions to share the long, dark hours with. Even the old, familiar constellations seemed to shine a little brighter, as if happy to have new neighbors. The sky felt complete, balanced, and full of stories, both old and new. Orion knew he would never look at the night sky the same way again. He wouldn't just see shapes. He would see the friends he had made. He would see the courage, the joy, and the hope that he had painted into existence. He had not just added stars to the sky, he had added love, and that, he realized, was the most powerful magic of all. The sky was no longer just a beautiful thing to look at, it was a reflection of the kindness in his own heart. A deep feeling of contentment settled over Orion. It was a feeling more wonderful than the excitement he had felt when he first found the brush. The joy of creating something just for himself was small compared to the immense, soul-deep happiness of creating something to make another happy. He looked at his beautiful, glowing paintbrush, its starlight bristles still shimmering with a rainbow of colors. He had used its magic not to show off or to make grand, flashy things for his own amusement, but to bring comfort and light to someone who was sad. He understood now that this was the true purpose of any great gift. Magic wasn't about what you could do, it was about what you could give. The joy he felt wasn't just his own. It was a shared joy, a reflection of the moon's own happiness. He felt connected to the moon, to the stars, and to the whole, vast, beautiful universe in a way he had never felt before. He was not just Orion, the little boy who lived in the attic. He was Orion, the star painter, a friend to the moon, a keeper of the night's beauty. It was a quiet, secret, and wonderful title, and he knew he would cherish it forever. As Orion held the paintbrush, feeling the deep contentment in his heart, he noticed something new. The brush itself seemed to be responding to his feelings. The gentle, colorful glow from its starlight bristles grew a little warmer, a little brighter, and for the first time, he could feel a soft, low humming sound coming from it, a vibration that traveled up the wooden handle and into his hand. It was a happy hum, a sound of pure, magical satisfaction. It was as if the brush, too, was happy. It had been created for this very purpose: paint with kindness and to share beauty, and it was joyful to finally be used in such a way. It had been waiting patiently in its box for 100 years for a keeper with a heart kind enough to understand its true magic. The hum was a quiet thank you, a promise of future collaboration. Orion smiled at the brush, his heart filled with affection for this magical tool. It was not just an object. It was a partner, a friend. Together, they would watch over the night sky, ensuring it was always a place of comfort, beauty, and wonderful stories. The bond between the boy and his brush was now complete, sealed by a shared act of kindness. The night was growing late, and a soft, sleepy feeling was beginning to settle over Orion. It was time for bed. He took one last look out his window at the beautiful, friendly sky. The moon was shining down, her smile a gentle, loving crescent, and his new starry friends twinkled back at him. He made a silent promise to all of them. He promised that he would never take them for granted. He would be their keeper and their friend. If ever the moon felt lonely again, he would be there to paint her a new companion. If a patch of sky seemed too dark and empty, he would be there to add a new cluster of sparkling stars. He would use his magical gift not to fill the sky with clutter, but to add beauty and comfort wherever it was needed most. He was a part of the night's story now, and he would do his best to make it a happy one. With this peaceful promise in his heart, he carefully placed the star paintbrush back into its silken bed in the ancient wooden box, closed the lid, and latched the tiny crescent moon, keeping its magic safe until the next night. And so, Orion, the boy who loved the stars, became their kindest artist, painting the night with friendship and light. Now it's your turn to paint your own beautiful pictures in the land of dreams. Close your eyes, imagine your own starry sky, and sleep well. If you enjoyed our fable tonight, we hope you'll join us again. Please like and subscribe to Bedtimes Fable to help us share more gentle stories with the world. Sweet dreams.